can't believe it. This is my first two-parter review. Like I was saying, at the beginning of the movie, pretty much most of the crowd was, you know, kind of going, yeah, this movie, it's supposed to be scary. Yeah, it's not going to be scary. This is going to be stupid, probably. Towards the beginning, it is pretty slow. They're mainly just introducing you to the characters, making you feel for them a little bit, you know, getting to know them, things like that. It works in a way. If you pay attention to what they're saying and you listen to them, you get a sense of, you don't want, excuse me, you don't want to have anything bad happen to them. But, other than that, you really don't care what actually happens to them. I'm not saying if anything does happen to them, but you're trying to just watch what happens next. Pretty much, they go through a series of days, skipping a few days to the points where stuff happens. During the day, they talk about things that happened the previous night. Most of the stuff happens during the night, and what happens is the guy sets up a camera and films what happens while they're sleeping, pointing the camera towards their bed at the door. And the first few nights, nothing really major happens. You hear like a small little knocking sound, or you hear a couple footsteps outside the door, things like that. It's not really too intense. But what it's doing is it's trying to build up the suspense. It's trying to make you get on the edge of your seat by going, oh my god, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen next night? What's going to happen the next night? And things like that. So I thought it was really good how they were building up the movie, starting slow, starting dull, and then just taking it far beyond where I thought they were going to take it. And you saw it in the crowd. During the daytime stuff, it got really corny at times, you know. You know how couples talk and joke around and things like that. A lot of one-liners and things like that. It got a little ridiculous. The crowd was laughing a lot during the daytime scenes and things like that. But every time it would cut to the night recording, you heard the crowd just silent. Dead silent. You could hear a pin drop in the theater every freaking time a night sequence came up. And towards the middle of the movie, the crowd was a little bit more edgier. You would still hear the giggles and things like that, but I think there were more like nervous giggles more than laughing, oh, this is stupid giggles. I think they were more like, this is okay, yeah, funny, you know, fake laughing, you know, trying to keep themselves a little secure. But then towards the end of the movie, where the stuff really starts picking up, I mean, each night the paranormal stuff starts getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It gets worse over time, and every time a night sequence happens, the paranormal stuff gets worse. You know, they start with little tiny knocks, then loud bangs, and then it just gradually starts getting more and more worse and worse and worse until you get some real poltergeist kind of shit, and even beyond that. I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I want you to experience a lot of the stuff for yourself. But I will tell you right now that the first half of the movie is kind of boring. I was yawning myself. But I was trying to pay attention to what the characters were saying and things like that, because there's a lot of backstory in this film. So listen to the chick when she's talking, because she gives a lot of information that is vital to the plot, to the movie. So you want to listen to what she's saying. She says a lot of things about her past and what her past experience have been, things like that. So pay attention to the chick and what she's saying. Don't ignore her. Don't, you know, talk to your friend while the daytime sequences are up. Pay attention to the film because it helps appreciate it a lot more. Okay, by this time, we're 3/4 into the movie, and things start getting a lot more intense, and the crowd feels it. During the daytime sequences, it's still kind of funny, people are still relaxed, but once the nighttime sequences start at this point, the crowd is actually terrified. Like, you can hear it around in the environment. Like people don't want it to happen. They want to see what happens next, but they don't. And that's what I loved about watching this in a crowd, that now the sequences are getting worse. People are like, no, I don't want to see the next one. I don't want to see what happens next. But yeah, I do. So it was getting more and more intense. And I will tell you, without spoiling it, the climax is holy crap. I wasn't expecting what happened to happen, and it got freaky, like disturbing freaky, like you want to go into a mental institution freaky. Like I said, I wasn't scared, but I was like kind of like a whoa. Whoa. It's kind of weird. Kind of like that. It's just you wrap your mind around it, and you're like, whoa, what the? Did I? No, that's whoa. Stuff like that. And I can tell you, the crowd at the end of the movie, the crowd left freaked out. Believe it or not, the movie has its reputation to uphold, and it upholded it. Not for a guy like me. I mean, I'm a lost cause. I can't get scared worth shit anymore. I've watched too much shit in my day to really get scared at anything or get freaked out. But the people that haven't been, aren't regular horror movie goers, or haven't really seen too much paranormal stuff, or have never experienced the real stuff before, I could see you getting a little scared sometimes, and getting a little freaked out, and not wanting to go to bed that night. So what I would say is, I would give this movie probably, I would give it an A. I would give it an A, just because it is what it says it is. It is a pretty freaky movie. It in terms of normal moviegoers, casual people, not huge horror movie fans like me, it is a very scary movie. I don't recommend taking kids to go see it, especially if they get afraid of the boogeyman in their closet, because it's not going to help that at all. It's probably going to make it a lot worse. We had a few kids in the crowd. They looked like they were probably around 6, 5-ish, really little kids. They weren't, 8 years old or older or anything like that, so they really had no idea what was going on, and they had no idea what anything in the movie meant. I think the parents just brought them along because they had to, in order to go see the movie, so they weren't even paying attention to the movie. So if you got little kids, it's probably not going to harm them, because it is a really boring movie for them, because there is a lot of talking and stuff like that, and there's not like monsters or anything to be afraid of. It's all like invisible stuff that you don't see. It's the stuff you don't see is what terrifies you, and to a kid, they can't grasp that concept, so kids won't be bothered by it. But if they're like about 8 years old and up, they could probably get a little freaked out over this movie, especially when they're in that phase of the boogeyman in the closet, or something under your bed, or being freaked out by weird noises. So just keep the kids away from it if they get freaked out too much over, ghosts and things like that. In closing, if you're a huge horror movie fan, go see this movie. If you're not a horror movie fan, if you don't like horror movies, or if you don't like getting scared, don't go see this movie, because you will get freaked out. Take it easy, guys.